Man, this hair is looking terrible. London's lockdown is playing its havoc on my head because I desperately need it shorn or adjusted or trimmed or whatever. Anyway, hi, welcome to this week's Insta Chat. I'm going to be talking to someone that I met a few years ago in Bombay. We were in a bar and they were sat in the corner and I noticed their makeup was extraordinary. Hi Priti, how are you? And I was just like, those lips are wicked. It was like jet black, sort of matte black lips. Because you can get glossy lips and all the rest of it, but jet black was kind of awesome, you know, something a bit different. So I went up to them and I just said, look, wait, give me those lips, give me that lip stain thing. And we became friends from then. And it turns out they're an amazing artist, sculptor, and activist. And it's Durga Gawde that I'm talking to today. They're just so awesome. So let them know I'm online because I'm a little bit late. Hang on. Oi, where are ya? There you go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to speaking to them. It's been a while. They did a whole series of IG lives when the lockdown happened last year, and that was really nice to watch. Hey Ramona, how are you? Hi Daditya. Hi Fabi. Hey, Durga's here. Let me send a request. There you go. Hi Shyam, how are you? And thank you all for joining us. God, this hair is getting out of control. It's like a bird's nest. There you go. Hey Durga, I'm requesting you too. Hi Ulka, how are you? Durga, you have to sort of accept my friendship. Are you going to request accept my friendship? So yeah, while we're waiting for Durga's internet connection to sort itself out, yeah, Durga's artwork is just phenomenal. I think that they're just the performance art, which I'll get them to talk about, and also the kind of normalization of the things that they represent is fascinating. Okay, Durga, they're saying, hold up, retry. Uh-oh, Durga is unable to join. But yeah, anyway, how's everyone else? You good? Oh, hi, Elka. Yeah, this t-shirt's awesome. It's by a company called This Only in America. So you type in, I want this only. And look, it's like the Air Indian Maharaja. You've got the kind of beautiful neck thingies of the notorious, I forgot her initials. I forgot her name as well. Oh my God, the High Court Justice judge that passed away last year. RGB, hang on. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, of course. And then, of course, you know, it's there. Oh, hang on. Durga's back. There we go. Send request. Hi, Nirmika. How are you? You all right? Hi, VD. Easy, Seren. Hey, this is connecting. Yay! Durga, how are you?
I'm good. My doggo at the back is like, what's going on out here?
I forgot Ruth Bader Ginsburg's name. What the hell is wrong with me? What the fuck? Because of that foof around the neck. That's proper. Yeah. Proper. How are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I am drinking wine after a long time, thanks to you, my friend.
Oh, no. Oh, don't fucking blame me. Like, I'm the bad influence. Actually, you know what? It's fine. Everyone blames me for their bad behavior.
Nothing bad about wine. It's just pink wine.
I mean, this is just, you know, just general boozage. Yeah.
Nirmika is here. Hi, Nirmika.
It's been a while since we caught up, right? The last time we spoke was on IG Live, like
on my
a year ago. Yeah, like a year ago, right?
In June, because I did a series during the lockdown, during Pride Month. And we live every day.
That's what it was. It was Prime Month. I see. Because we're still stuck in like this fucking perennial lockdown in London. Hence my inability to wear lipstick for you. Going back to our first meeting where I teethed your black lipstick, I was just like, yeah, man, I'm going to break out the black lipstick today. Show up for Durga, but no, it's just me.
Yeah, I'm in pajamas and a really comfy t-shirt.
Fucking all of your buckwass chat about let's glam up, Nerm. Yeah, fuck you in your PJs. Big up Yazzie who's in the house. There you go.
Wasn't feeling it.
Do you know what, love? Whatever. You know what? I'm just happy to see your face, glam or otherwise. You look fucking great. So whatever. At least, I mean, look at my hair. It's a shit show. It's like a bird.
You know, every single time I've seen you on IG Live, like you go live and while you're waiting for your guest, you're just like, look at my hair, look at my hair.
Yeah, but like I was saying, it's like a bird flying overhead. Instead of shitting on my head, it's just dropping the bird's nest. You know what I'm saying? It's like a flying bird's nest and the fucking nest is caught in the bird's feet and it shook it off and it landed on my head.
Have you considered wearing a hat?
No fucking shit. No, never thought about that. I mean, crikey. So yeah, thank you for doing this, and thank you for being there in your PJs and comfortable, because that's after all what these conversations are all about, just chatting and comfortable.
Yeah, I really wanted to glam up and stuff, but I was just like, I don't know. I've been my dysphoria has been really bad for the last month and a half.
So that's it. I think that recently you were on this massive gym kick and sort of like really kind of proud of your body and and what you were growing into and stuff, or what you were developing. Look at that! Wow, that looks massive. Look at that! This is because of a fisheye lens. It's not actually that big. But yeah, I mean, like, it's been really bad for you. I'm sorry to hear that. Have you sort of eased out of that phase, or is it still ongoing?
So I injured my hand the last time I was at the gym, so I haven't gone back because all the muscles on my right side till my chest like just completely caught up. Like I couldn't move it for a few days. So that's why I've taken a break. But also like my dysphoria has just been really bad in the last 2 months. And that also has to do with working out, because I've been working out. I worked out so much that my chest muscles started to pop. Like I was like getting my pecs and stuff. And that pushed out my breasts even further, and I'm really dysphoric with my breasts. So, I mean, I have a hard time getting up every day, like just doing this in the morning, like just picking myself up, like, you know, just that is, oh my God, gives me so much anxiety.
So I mean, you and I have spoken about your dysmorphia and things out there, but for people that may not know, your whole story, like sort of the whole path, you know, from being this artist and studying abroad, can you just fill us in?
Well,
and how you came to sort of acknowledge your dysmorphia and your presence as you are now.
So for those who don't know, I am Durga Gawde. I am an assigned female at birth, which means I was born with a womb, and then later on in my life, after puberty, developed breasts. I am an artist. I'm a trained sculptor. I studied at the Rhode Island School of Design. And then
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
It is.
And I graduated in 2015. And actually, my time at RISD was really, it was in such a formative time in my life. I was there from the age of 19 to 21, 22. And essentially, those years I had, you know, I was just exposed to so many different kinds of people from all over the world. And we were in this space where our job was to be creative and exploring everything that we possibly could, you know, everything that we were interested in at that point. And my work actually at that point was very focused on research and biology.
Okay.
So I was working with like various types of microscopes. I was working in a naturalistic collection that was on campus. So I was taking care of like 23 species of, you know, marine life. So like fish, jellyfish, seahorses, like all sorts of crazy shit. And in that time that I spent there, I spent so much time with the microscopes. I started really looking at what life is like in a way, through like a lens that we don't normally see, right? Like our eyes don't give us that perspective the way that a microscope does. So I would, you know, sort of like search for all this imagery and understanding of visual knowledge of what it's like to be alive, and try to And then like let that sit in my brain, and then over time like it would turn into all sorts of crazy things. It was like a
Mm-hmm.
mishmash of everything that I saw, and collected. And so that led me to a path where I started feeling like like I was full of shit because I
Oh,
was
really?
only looking at because I was only looking at the surface.
Ah, but
You know?
does that mean? But aren't all organisms full of shit unless it's actually excreted out the system? Haha. Like realistically, we're all full of shit.
Oh hence we all feel like shit at some point
Right.
of time. If we are
Sorry,
too full of
I
shit,
didn't mean to interrupt you there, but please continue. Sorry.
No, but after 6 weeks before my thesis project was due, I actually changed my thesis, and I did this project where I kept my eyes closed for like 21 days, and I just kept scribbling on these scrolls of tracing paper. So I was actually moving according to how I was feeling,
Right.
and it was like an experiment to almost like go internal,
It was like
like
free
just
drawing,
sort of
but
internalize
blindfolded.
like yeah, no, I just kept my eyes closed,
Okay.
but I was very good about it. The only times I would open my eyes was to like when I was cooking,
Or go to the
eating,
toilet.
and peeing. Yes, exactly. Peeing and shitting.
Yeah.
So other than that, I barely talk to any people. I just kind of like cut off,
Mm-hmm.
from everything, everyone, and that resulted in me like just releasing so much of stuff that was going on with me internally.
Okay.
And and it kind of like it was like a small opening to like me understanding my transness, or me understanding that I wasn't a woman. But
Okay.
it took time for me to accept that. It was, I came back to India in 2015 after my thesis project got done and everything. And for a couple years, I didn't come out. My grandfather was very sick at that point, and
Mm.
once he passed away, I came out because him and I were very close,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want him to see the world treat me differently
That's
while he
really
couldn't
sweet. So
do
you weren't
anything
afraid
about
of
it.
telling him. It was more just how you'd be treated in.
Oh, he would, nothing would change between him and
Mm.
I. Nothing. Like,
That's
not
wicked.
even for a second. Like, he would just be like, he'd be like, I will find anybody who tries to mess with you. And he had Parkinson's, and he was a bodybuilder actually.
Fucking
So,
hell.
me,
I mean,
yeah.
sorry, I've just had this really odd mental image of like, you get Parkinson's twitches, but really muscular ones. So you got to get the fuck out of the way.
He was really, by the end of it, he was skin and bones, but his muscle definition never left him. Like, it was insane. Like, there were times when, like, he would be, like, getting his tremors and couldn't move, and I'd be like, hey, man, what's up? How you doing? And he'd be like, can't you see my bicep?
That's where you get it from. That's where
That
you
is
get
where I
it
get it
from.
from.
Ah,
That is where I get
got
it
it.
from.
Got it. But
And so, like,
was that also around, because I know that the sort of the more sort of common usage of language like cis and trans and those kind of differentials is quite a recent phenomenon, the last 6-7 years maybe, that it's become widely accepted and widely talked about. But then,
yeah.
and I think I was talking to a friend of mine who was discussing these words, saying, well, I understand straight and gay, but I don't understand what this is. And I was just like, in a very simple way, I kind of thought, well, imagine you just feel uncomfortable in your own body. Imagine being born in a body that you were uncomfortable in, and that you needed, you didn't connect with your physicality. And I can't speak because I've never felt that. You know what I mean? Is that like a correct definition? So like for me, it's like sexuality is who you like, and in terms of gender, it's how you feel. Is that as basic as it is, or is there a better explanation? Oh, in fact, there's definitely a better explanation. So please tell me.
So, people often confuse sexuality and gender, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are intertwined with each other, but they're very different things. So, my sexuality is what I like in other people. Like what I'm attracted to in other people. I'm pansexual. That's how I identify. So, I mean,
I love that
I
term.
just care about having a connection with another person.
Mm.
And gender is what's between your ears, not what's between your legs.
Mm.
What's between your legs is your sign, it's your sex, it's your biological sex. And what's between your ears is your brain, right? It's inside you. It's like how you see yourself, how you connect with yourself and your body.
Mm.
And so I actually correct you and say that I wasn't born in the wrong body. I was born with a flat chest and no penis. And that's how I identify,
Right.
you know,
Oh, I
with my
see. So
body.
it's
Yeah.
almost. Oh, I get it. I get it.
So when I that's why I said like it's when I hit puberty is when I developed breasts. Before that, I was completely in sync with my body. I was completely in sync with myself. And when I look at pictures of me from when I was younger, you know, you can look at me and I look exactly like this. Like I had short
Oh, blonde
hair.
hair and all. Okay.
No, not blonde hair. I had short hair, and you can see it's the same face, you know, but that drastically changed when like after I hit puberty, I was expected to like grow my hair out, and
Right.
I went to the like other end of like the whole appearance of being feminine, right? Like I was hyper feminine. I had really, really long hair. I had hair till my mid thigh where I cut it. So it was really, really long. I would dress in the way that I guess I was expected to. It was not about my comfort. It was not about, you know, I mean, I still have my old clothes from back then and I wear them sometimes, but now the way that I relate to them is different. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it for me. Like
So it's
when
more of a choice as opposed to an imposition.
no, it's actually like just whatever I feel comfortable in at that
Right.
point. Just
Yeah.
as simple as that. And
Yeah.
being
That.
a
Yeah.
gender fluid person, for me, that changes. Like today, like I feel very like, you know, loose, loose shirt with long sleeves and pajamas. On another day, I might feel like wearing a really short dress and, you know, like, you know, just having a lot of feminine makeup or like having a very feminine vibe about me. I've noticed the way that I walk changes when I'm feeling more masculine or feminine. Um, and even the way that like I explain this to people like this actually the way I can draw it out is like when I'm feeling really feminine, my thoughts are like this, you know, they're like connected
Swirly.
but going in, yeah, they're swirling.
Right.
But when I'm feeling more masculine, I'm like
They're
like
pointy.
yeah,
So
very
it's like curly and pointy.
yeah, kind of. So yeah, anyway, like my work actually sort of I'm so fortunate to be an artist because and not so fortunate to be an artist for other reasons, but it actually brought me closer to what I am. Not who I am, but what I am. You know, I've always had the sense of who I am. But I always felt disconnected to what I was. Like I didn't know, like I just felt really uncomfortable when I was perceived as a woman, and it just I didn't know where it was coming from. There were no words to describe it. There was no vocabulary, you know, like that I had access to or anything. So, like you said, these terms like gender fluid and stuff like that have come up in conversation in the last few years, and oh my God,
It
just
must have been a
having
fucking relief for you. Like such a relief that these conversations
yeah,
were happening.
seriously,
Yeah.
like I um I I mean, when I came across that word, I still remember the day. It was when I was around 20, and I was talking to one of my friends in college who was trans, and he showed me a picture of Ruby Rose, and he said, "By the way, Ruby Rose is fluid." And I was like, "What?
What
There's
does that
such a
mean?
thing as
Yeah.
that? Like, what do you mean? Like, you can exist like that in this world?" And it blew my mind. Like, I was like, oh my God, the whole world just opened up in my brain. Like, everything started to make sense.
Yeah.
But of course, like, it was a very scary thought, right? Like, having felt like kind of an imposter in my own skin for so many years and always like putting on a performance for other people. That's what I felt like when I was, you know, living like a woman.
And now, of course, you put on performances for your fucking self.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is really fun, I tell you. I've missed it so much. Damn COVID, like
And
that.
mate, fucking tell me about it. What a bastard COVID is, right? Fuck.
You remember, like, I did that performance, the last performance, big performance I did. Like, I had almost 3,000 people in the audience who came out to see me in Bangalore, and I was like, I'd bound my dress, and I was like fucking bear in front of all these people. And I remember this moment when there were these cops there. Okay, they were just at this festival, just doing their job, seeing if everything is fine.
Mm.
And I locked eyes with a cop while I was performing. And for a second there, I was like, what are they gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
I clearly have tits and they're taped up, but they're there. You can see them. And I just kept looking at him.
In
like,
Bangalore, right?
Yeah, in Bangalore.
At least I was
looking
going to
at
make
him.
a UP joke, at least it's not indecency or any shit like that, but fuck. Yeah.
But I definitely in that moment I was scared. I was like, is he gonna like say something because this is indecent,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. But I didn't leave that eye contact with that cop, I just kept looking at him while I was performing in these huge eyelashes, this beard on my face and purple lips, and I just like kept doing what I was doing. And actually, that performance especially, there were no words. I wasn't saying anything. I was just letting people feel what I was feeling by just being present to how I was feeling. And he saw that, and he didn't stop looking at my eyes. I didn't see his eyes go down. You know what I mean? And
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
that was fucking awesome. I was like, later on, like I was sitting at home being like, how did I do that? I don't think I could do that like on a normal day. That was like, I was that mindset that day that no, you will see me for her. I want to be seen, bitch. Like,
Yeah. Fuck. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think we spoke about like your other artwork, and we mentioned sculpting the other day, and how there's like a certain level of putting what's in your head out and literally molding something as you see fit.
Yeah, actually, I've not been sculpting that much. Like through the lockdown, I've been painting a lot.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so I mean, I have this, even in college, I used to draw a lot. I used to draw the human figure a lot with charcoal and stuff. And like I said, all that work that I did with the microscopes and stuff like that actually, like I worked with 20 different types of microscopes, including the electron microscope, which is like really, really difficult to get your hands on. It's like $100,000 machine. It's like really precious. But in my school, we were allowed to access it. We had access to it. And
Are they difficult to use?
They're not difficult to use. It's just that even in like universities where they study science and all that, usually the technicians work on them. Like to make a sample that goes under the electron microscope takes about 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
kind of
can't.
what I meant. Yeah, the preparation
Yeah,
aspect of it. Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't prepare the specimens and stuff like that.
Okay.
That was outsourced, but I studied them and I took images because it's like you can go so deep. And like in that, I could spend like my entire life looking at one specimen and get like millions of different images in different corners of that specimen. Like it's like a whole world. It's amazing. But I can show you actually. You want to hold up? I'll show
Yeah,
you what
sure.
I'm working on.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Alka. Yeah, look her up. She's amazing. Sorry, not she. Shit. Sorry, look them up. They're amazing. Apologies, man.
So I've been working on these. These are not done. These are all works in progress right now. But basically, like I've been painting
What's
all of
that?
these.
What's that cell? Is that a cell?
So is that
What is
what?
it? What is it?
It's just how all those images that I saw under the microscope like fused in my brain and they start creating all of these landscapes almost. They're like from my mind, So
That's awesome.
I don't know. So
I was just going to
basically,
say,
like,
Pretty said what I was going to say. It looks like mitochondrial landscapes almost.
yeah, exactly. So these to me are like slides, you see,
Right.
like these, and that's why they're not really big, they're small. These are all in progress, okay? So they're not done, they're halfway done. So when I paint like 10, 20 paintings at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I spread them out. and I work on different ones at the same time. So some of them are more done than the others. These are the ones that I've just been working on. And essentially, like, we are made out of 70% water, organic matter, and a seed. We come from a seed, right?
Yeah.
So that is how I'm thinking about these pieces. So I use a lot of water. I only use watercolor, which is like made out of organic stuff. And I'm using egg yolk and coffee, which is like the seeds that I use.
That sounds like a really good breakfast.
So you see this glaze?
Yeah.
That's actually because of the egg yolk. And this technique is called tempera. It's a technique that got lost because of like acrylics and oil paints and all that coming into picture. But it's an old technique from like the 12th century. And essentially, like, these kind of images haven't really been made in this technique. So I'm actually creating these images in this technique, which connects to the organic, connects to the body, connects to like our composition. And,
well, so that's interesting, because when you say seed, it's like literally it's the combination of two cells that turn into a zygote and then multiplies out. But the interesting point that I still go back to just from my old biology days was the whole formation of chromosomes and XX and XY, which I imagine has a huge impact in the work you do.
Yeah, so I'm a huge biology nerd. Like, I've been studying biology stuff for a very long time. Actually, when I was like 18, I was part of a team which took part in a synthetic biology competition, and we won the world championship at MIT. It was hosted at MIT. We were the only art school that took part at that
What's
point.
a synthetic biology competition?
So the competition we took part in is called IGEM, which means International Genetically Engineered Machines. So it was essentially a competition to like program equalizers, like actually do gene splicing and put different genes of this and that into it. But our project was about how we actually collected a lot of soil samples, and it was about the ethics behind synthetic biology. So we worked on a project where we didn't make one of those things, but in fact called attention to the science community that be careful while working on this stuff, because there can be side effects to it. And we won the Human Practice Advance is what it's called. So we won the award for the ethics aspect of that whole competition. And so since then, I've been really like into all this biology stuff, and I've studied a lot of different stuff. But marine biology is where like I feel really connected. And again, it goes back to water, fluidity, the connection to the ocean. Like, I have a huge connection to the beach, like, you know. So
I mean, with all due respect, who doesn't like the beach? I mean, come on.
There are people.
Kill for the beach right now. I'm like, I
just went to the beach a few weeks ago. Sorry,
sorry, I'm gonna blow my nose. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm so jealous. Like, so fucking jealous. But I think also, like, does that relate to how you feel in yourself as well, in terms of that? I mean, obviously in India, there's a really, actually, I guess traditionally in India, it wasn't so rigidly binary until, you know, people say the Victorian times, but definitely now there's a rigid sort of binary of gender and the roles that people have to fulfill. And that's got to be super difficult for you to come out as gender fluid in such a rigid framework.
Yeah, it's been exhausting. Like, that's what I've been feeling for the last few weeks, a couple months, or every few months. Like, I just get very tired. Like, I'm already very tired, feeling constantly. So the presence of my breast stresses my body up. You know, people may not fully understand this, but the best way to understand it is like, to me, they feel like tumors, like something that never was part of it suddenly became part of it. And it's like, what the hell am I stuck with? And then it's not just that I'm stuck with it, but I'm treated on the basis of that.
It's the reaction that you get because of it, I guess. Right.
And I have no problem with my freaking tits. They're great tits, okay? Which is not on me. So it's been it's been quite the struggle. Like it's been hard with my family. It's been, uh, yeah, it's just been like when I first started talking about it, when I came out publicly,
Mm.
and it was insane. Like I would get like 100 to 200 like death threats, rape threats every day for about like 6 to 8 months.
Fuck.
It was crazy. Like I was like, wow, like me just telling people that I exist like this and this is me has made them feel like they have the right to tell me that I should be dead or I shouldn't exist or
Mm.
I'm a piece of shit or like so many times I'd get like messages where people are just being like, oh, you probably don't know what it's you probably don't know you're a woman because you haven't been with a real man. I should probably come and show you. You know what I mean? Like
Fun.
stuff like that.
Nice. Like really friendly things like that. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I when I was living in Bombay, it was really overwhelming for me actually
Oh yeah?
because yeah, because there are just so many people on the street everywhere, you
Right.
know? So the minute I would get out of the house and I was on the street, it was literally like there's thousands of eyes on me. Because I
Which there
walk
would
around
be in India generally, because you look different full stop, because you're not exactly that. So there's always eyes on you
yeah.
anyway. But I guess if there's another
In
layer on top
Bombay
of
it
that, it's
was
super fucked.
in Bombay it was even more because like when I was living in Bombay, like I was taking the train a lot. One time I almost got thrown out of the train compartment, like the ladies compartment, because
Oh
I
shit.
yeah, like these 200 women, like they got really pissed off and they wanted to throw me out. Like
Huh.
that was a scary one. Yeah, I mean, one woman just asked me, like I was minding my own business, and one woman asked me, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And I didn't want any issues, so I said, "I'm a girl." You know, I'm a girl, like as high pitched as I could. And she looked at me and she was like, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Indian women don't cut their hair like this. What's
Oh
wrong with you?"
wow.
And then I was
Wow.
like, mind your own business, lady. Like, I'm not bothering you, don't bother me. You
Yeah.
know? But I said it way more politely than that. But
You didn't say, fuck off. Like we
I wish, I wish. But she wouldn't have understood me. She just started yelling at the other women in the compartment, being like,
Right.
oh, it's because of people like this that our country is going to shit. Like this one shouldn't even exist. Like
Fun.
they should
Fun.
just die and like all this shit. And I was like, wow, like people are really angry, man. Like, and I didn't like now I'm in a place in my life where I know how to protect my energy.
Mm.
You know, I mean, earlier I didn't when I just came out. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know who to surround myself with. Suddenly, all the people that I thought were close to me started feeling very distant from me because
Mm.
I couldn't relate to them anymore. They couldn't relate to me anymore.
Mm.
And so it was like, wow, like the minute I stopped putting on this performance for the world, oh, great. Like so many people I can't relate to anymore who I've been close to for like years, you know?
Mm.
So yeah, it's been strange, but I know who my fam is. Like I know who my people are now,
Yeah.
and um, and it's always
It's
like it's a journey, right?
I think
So
it's
I'm
so
just glad.
interesting that that there's certain assumptions that people make about you, just because of your existence. That's kind of fucked. Yeah, I'm sorry you went through that. Actually, that's kind of shitty. But also the flip side. I mean, the reason why Bombay kind of made me go, huh? Because there's a massive drag scene. Well, not massive, but there's a drag scene in Bombay, which is pretty
Mhm.
fucking cool. There's a nightclub over here called He She They, which is one of my favorite nightclubs.
Yeah, you
Or
told me
club.
about it.
Yeah, it's fucking great, and they do all sorts of amazing events. And they came out to Bombay and did something there. And obviously, I've got a lot of friends in Bombay that are queer and that can dress however the fuck they want to and walk around. Like I've been lucky enough to wake up in Bombay covered in makeup and walk around, but I don't live it every day. You know what I mean? I've got the luxury of dipping in and out whenever the fuck I choose to. That's, the privilege I have. So the
Mhm.
day-to-day stuff, completely unaware of, you know?
Yeah, so what a lot of people, when they look at me, they assume that I come from a lot of privilege. Like, I have privilege of education.
Mm.
But when I was living in Bombay, I was living on the outskirts of Bombay in Thane. I would take the train every day.
You're in
Yeah,
fucking Thane? Jeez.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I would take
Okay.
the train every day to go to work,
Wow.
come back. I was in the
Like,
train
big
for
up all the
4 hours
Thane
a
massive. I
day.
mean,
Like,
I don't want to upset anyone. Big up everyone in Bombay and Thane and stuff. But that's a fucking mission to get like from there into Bombay is like.
yeah, it was 4 hours of my life every day going up and down,
Fuck.
right? Just
Yeah.
and so I was in transit, and I'm in the like. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's just that
Yeah.
I don't. My parents, then my family, we're okay. Like we're doing okay now. But I grew up living in like a one-bedroom apartment with 5 people living in it. You know, like I come from humble beginnings. You know,
I
I
thought your
didn't.
family were like sort of like esteemed artists and stuff. Your parents were both like established
Yeah, I
artists.
mean, you know, artists don't make money.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, true saying. I mean, it's not exactly privilege. It's like I think maybe esteem and acclaim, but not
Yeah,
privilege. Yeah, yeah, sure.
like
Hi,
I'm the first person in my like dad's side of the family. I didn't grow up with my mom's side of the family. I met them much later in life. So everybody I grew up with, they're all Maharashtrian. Everybody is Maharashtrian family, right? And
right.
I was the first one to be in an English medium school.
Okay.
I was the first one to go to college abroad. And so, like, all of these things I didn't imagine I would be doing when I was growing up, you know?
You know, I
And
could also,
so,
yeah, I could also see people sort of saying, "Oh, well, you know," and I say this pronoun deliberately. She's just doing it for attention.
oh my God, you have no idea. Let me quote.
Yeah.
This is Durga's strategy to get the attention of the art world, you know, like, and become a successful artist. And it's like, to them, I would just like to say, if me being myself is my strategy, then fuck yeah, it's my strategy.
Yeah.
Fuck you! You know, if anybody
And
is
isn't
gonna
that the
profit
fucking point
off
of
of
art?
my transness and my queerness, it's me, bitches. Like, why not? Like, I mean, I worked hard to get to a point where I have the courage to accept myself, you know? Like, just looking in the mirror for years. For 10 years, I didn't recognize myself in the mirror now. 10 years of my life. Till I had that freaking long hair. I was just like, who the hell am I looking at in the mirror? I mean, she's hot, but it's not me.
Maybe in another lifetime I'd date her, but not. I don't want to be her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it was just, I mean, when I was 21, I dyed my hair electric blue. Okay, my long hair. And I did it myself, and I didn't know how to do it back then. So like, I completely messed it up. I fried it, and I came back to India, and it was great. Like it was like it faded out, and it was kind of like gray and stuff. My grandfather looked at me, and he was like, "What have you done to my granddaughter's hair?" And I was like, I know, I'm gonna cut it. Like, and for those 10 years that my hair was long, I was just like, can I please cut it? Can I, like, I would have to ask permission, right? Because I didn't have, I guess, I didn't own my body. It was my parents who were like, you can't cut your hair. You can't cut it short, you know?
I mean, that's the whole thing, isn't it? Is that the ownership goes from literally father to husband, right? That's the whole thing. And I think I was reading. I mean, like it was, you know, I've always been into different aesthetics and very like, you know, I'm into different weird shit, whatever people would want to call it. But I always thought short hair on women was awesome. And then I read somewhere about how in certain villages, when you know, the punishment for women that have betrayed their husbands or whatever, or some, you know, a form of punishment is to have their head shaved, to highlight them as being either prostitutes or against society or whatever the fuck. Like, it's a massive stigma to have short hair.
And widows.
Sorry, and widows as well, right?
Yeah, widows too.
I was just taken aback by that. I was like, what the fuck? There's so much weight put in having long hair for women. It was just so bizarre to me. And it's just bizarre
Yeah,
that those things are still carried forward. But I can, I think it helps to sort of see the lineage of it and to understand where it comes from, to then fucking kill it at the source. Do you know what I mean?
definitely. Definitely. Like, so a lot of times when I'm walking down the street over here, after I cut my hair and I start dyeing it and just like presenting myself the way that I feel comfortable,
Mm,
a lot of times people think I'm a foreigner. They
mm,
don't think I'm Indian. They think
mm.
I'm like Mexican or some Latin American or something,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But then the minute I open my mouth and I say something in Hindi or Marathi or something like that, they're just like,
What the fuck?
what? Like I was living in Goa for a bit, and I love Goa because I can speak in Marathi there, you know?
Mm.
I love speaking in Marathi. So all the shops I would go to, I just talk in Marathi. And they would just look back at me like being like, what? Some of them would ask me like, did you learn this after you moved to India? Like,
Even in
but
Goa,
I was
because
like,
Goa's got pretty like has got quite expressive individuals walking around as well, right?
yeah, definitely. But because I'm a fluid person, like I am not a woman. Like it shows in my body language. Like when I
Huh.
walk, when I talk, like there's a different. And I think that's why, like, that was what happened when I started showing myself to the world. I started noticing people looking at me more because they were seeing something different. They were not just
Mm.
seeing this. It was my energy as well. Like even when
Mm.
you met me, I'm sure you
Yeah.
felt it. Like there was a different energy, right?
I mean,
So
I don't
you were
really
fucked up that day. You don't
exactly.
remember
I don't really pay
shit. You were
attention
just
to.
like, hey, nice lipstick color, try it on, please.
Exactly. I was like, give me that lipstick. I didn't give a shit about the energy. I was like, I want that lipstick. No, fuck off. That was, I mean, like, that was my energy. I didn't give a shit about anything else around the periphery or the person wearing the lipstick. I was like, I want
Yeah,
that
this
lipstick.
is true. This is true.
I didn't give a
Your
flying fuck.
example doesn't count. Like,
No, I
fuck
don't give a
that.
shit. I can give two fucks. Whatever. I just want the lipstick. I don't care. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's probably why we're friends. I just really didn't give a shit. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like now I realize, like, oh, that's the kind of friends that I want, who don't even notice that aspect of me. They're more interested in like just me, like
Like, where
not
did you buy
my
that
gender.
lipstick from? Because it's matte. I want to know that. I hate
Yeah,
gloss.
you
Give me that.
asked me that, I remember. And I was like, it's Sephora lip stain. You're like, oh, okay. Thank you.
Noted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I did it with a certain English wobble. I can't do the full Indian wobble. It's like, my neck hurts. Fuck. That old man thing.
Okay,
But
no.
I actually just want to say hi to Fawzia. Thank you for joining us, Fawzia. And Bharat, if anyone's got a question, stick it on the questions button because I won't see it on the chat. There's a little question mark. If you've got a question for Durga, just hit that button and type it in, and then I can see. Yeah, that night was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed that, and I think that there was, it was a certain interaction with you that I really appreciated. Another thing that I really appreciate about you is that whenever I've seen your interactions online and you're challenged about something or you're corrected, there's no hesitation in correcting it or readdressing anything you do. So the open-mindedness, I think it's fucking amazing because, you can get even in certain communities or certain assertions of identity, there inherently become kind of social hierarchies at play. And there's a certain way of, there's a certain, it kind of, I think humans are just designed to dig their heels in to assert themselves in a social hierarchy. But you're all fluid in that way as well. You're able to learn and progress and fucking do what you want to, which I just admire massively. There's no dogma.
Thank you.
It's all very, very fucking pragmatic and not dogmatic whatsoever. So I really appreciate that.
Like, I learned about this shit a few years ago myself. So I'm learning about myself as I go. And I think this is true for a lot of like fluid people or people who identify as non-binary.
Mm-hmm.
It's like first when I came out, like I very strongly felt a connection with the word gender fluid.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I learned about being non-binary, I also, started identifying with the word trans. Like in my interviews earlier, like when I first came out, I would never say I'm a trans, non-binary, gender fluid person. I would say I'm a gender fluid person.
Mm.
Then I found the word non-binary, and then I found the word trans. And these are just words you use to describe your human experience, right? Like
Mm.
it's easier when you fit into the binary because you don't have to explain yourself. But it's like, okay, so like, no, imagine this, okay, when I go on a date with a person I've never really like met before, it's hilarious. It's like, okay, if you were in my position and you were the first man I've met in my whole life, I'd be like, oh my God, Dom, what does it mean to
So
be a
wait,
man?
a heteronormative cis male we're talking about here. Okay, and you're meeting them as a regular dude. Okay,
Not
tell me
just
how that
do
would go.
like you
I
know,
have no
it's
idea
like,
how that.
oh, so like just okay, instead of I'm gonna just rephrase those questions to you
Okay,
about like what it's like to be a man, but
but
it
you know that
basically
wouldn't
goes
wouldn't
like
work with me, right? Obviously.
no, but I just want to hear I just want you to hear these questions. They're freaking stupid. It's
Okay,
like
okay. So I'm you, and you're the dude. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
and
okay. Fine, fine, fine.
basically it's like oh hi Nerm, so wait, isn't like isn't your pronoun plural? Like how does that work for you? I don't understand that. Like I do you feel like two people? Like I don't get
I was
it.
going to say no. I'm non-binary. There are many of me. I am legion. There are so many of me. Roll the dice, motherfucker. In fact, roll 20 dices, and we'll see. Die 20 die. Yeah, roll all the die, and we'll see what you fucking get. Yeah.
Like what does it feel like to be a man in this world? Yeah, I get asked, what does it feel like to be a trans person in this world? I'm
By
like,
a
it feels
dude.
like shit,
Yeah,
asshole. You're
by a
asking this
dude.
question. Huh?
A dude is asking you that.
Like, people ask me, like, what is it like to be a trans person? What does it mean to be a
Oh,
trans person? Like,
okay.
I'm like, I don't want to, like, that's, after I came out, that's become majority of the conversations that I have when I meet people. Like it's like it takes like 20, 30 minutes to get to, oh, what do you do? You know? It's like
Because I guess you know what I know this is a completely separate thing, but the one correlation that me and my limited experience can align that to is being brown over here. So your race, for example, and the work you do defined by race becomes fucking everything. So suddenly, it's like, you are brown over here. It's like, mate, fuck off. There's so much more going on. And
yeah.
is that the similar thing that you're alluding to in terms of like the sort of fluidity isn't the be all and end all of you? Sure, it's one of the factors, but it's not the defining factor.
It's a big part of me.
Mm.
But you know, I'm also an artist, I'm also a performer,
Mm.
I'm also a drag king, I'm also an educator. Like I've taught so many classes. I've taught so many students. I've taught people from the age of 4 to 74, like 75. You know, I've taught like
Mm.
a whole bunch of people all across.
Mm.
And it's like, I don't know, like those parts of my identity sort of started like getting away from me for a while after I
Mm-hmm.
came out. But I guess I just needed like a few years to be like, this shit exists. Like, if you didn't know, I'm gonna put my face everywhere.
And you know what? That's also a part of it, like having no one else there, because some of the motherfuckers are going through this shit and don't know that they are not alone. So having
Mhm.
someone out there is such a fucking relief. You know what I mean? Like if there was, like my relief was Prince. I was like, yo, there's like, a fucking beige not alpha male who wears heels and makeup and shit, and it's amazing. I was like, yo, that's my fucking role model growing up. You know what I mean? I was like, thank
Yeah.
fuck, because without that, what the fuck would I have? So I'm sure you putting yourself out there has that effect on people that are going through very, very similar things.
You know, and now thankfully I can say I get more messages which say, thank you for doing what you do.
Nice.
I would have been able to understand this about myself. I think I am this, I think I am that.
That's
I
awesome.
think I identify with you. And you know, growing up, like I didn't have that. I didn't have anyone. Like I can count on my fingertips like how many women with short hair I saw in any media in the
Hmm.
90s. And in India, like no. You know,
I
there
was going to
was
say in England there were shitloads because that was the time. The
yeah.
90s for the short hair was all about it.
And and I don't know, like it was just really difficult. I don't think you've seen this, but people who are watching from India, like I know you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. There was this show called Hum Punch, which used to come on TV, and there was this one character called Kajal Bhai, who was like a total gender fluid character. Like it's
I mean,
just
Kajal by alone sums it up.
like she was essentially she was always wearing a hat and she was wearing this shirt and like she was always talking like a dude and everyone just let her be. And one time her grandmother tried to say something about her clothes or something and she was just like, "This is my style, okay, like fuck off." I
I've,
remember that so
I've
well
just
from
found it. I've just found it. I'm totally
you
gonna.
found it. Oh, you want to show people who it is?
No, I've just found the image that the poster, but I need to fucking flip it.
Yeah.
Oops. Last time I did this, I spilled fucking alcohol all over my computer. Hang on. There, that.
Yeah, you see that one with the hat, the
Yeah.
green shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kajal Bhai.
Nice.
But
Nice.
so I remember like shit, like I remember shit like this that I saw like on TV, you know, just when I was a kid. Like I think I was probably like 6 years old, 7 years old when that stuff was on TV at that point. And I remember that. I remember that so well. And I also remember I won't name this person, but there was someone in my complex, like growing up, and this was a lower middle class Marathi complex on the outskirts of Bombay in Mulund.
Another place
And
that's in miles away. Mulund next to
yeah,
Thane. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there was someone who lived there, and that person was allowed to play in the girls' team and the boys' team
Oh wow.
when there were matches in the colony, and everybody, all the kids called that person Dada, which is like older brother, you know. And this person was born. I don't know. I still don't know if this person identifies as what or what. Like there was no conversation that I had with this person
Yeah.
about this, you know.
They could have been born as
But
like a hermaphrodite, perhaps, or something like
no,
biologically.
no.
No.
Definitely a trans man. Like
Okay.
definitely a trans
Like
man.
born male, then transitioned, or like felt a different way.
Born
Female,
assigned
sorry.
female at birth.
Right.
And everybody called this person by the name that he wanted to be called as, and
Okay.
everybody addressed him as him. So this
Okay.
person made
Cool.
sure of that.
That's really
And I
fucking
remember
progressive.
this dude didn't give anyone a choice. Like,
Okay.
there was no choice. Nobody had a choice. Like, and I saw that growing up, and I thought that was so cool. You know, I thought like, wow, that's so cool. This one gets to play on both teams. That's not bad. I want to play on both teams because I used to play with the boys and play with the girls. Like I remember I'd be outside with the bicycle, like cycling and like winning all these races with the boys, fighting with the boys. Like I was an athlete, you know, so I'd always practice with the boys. I was kicking their butts all the time. I was like one of the boys. And then I'd be very happy sitting with the girls inside and, you know, playing with the dolls and like a kitchen set and shit like that, building a tent and like, you know, doing all that shit too. So I remember that like very clearly. I felt like, what is this shit? Like, why? I remember, it was 4 years old. It was the second day of kindergarten, and the first day everyone was just crying, so I don't remember that day. The second day of kindergarten, I noticed everyone with shorts was going to one toilet, and everyone with a pinafore was going to another toilet. And I asked my friend, I was like, why is that? She said it's because they have a pipe and we have a hole. And it's honestly as simple as that. I'm like, wow, that's what you use to differentiate between people? It's like a pipe and a hole. Like, it made no sense to me. That was the day I found out that people had different like parts.
Yeah, like standing peeing, squatting peeing.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the case. I thought everybody just like sat and peed, you know.
Oh mate, I mean, I could tell you stories about my idiocy as a child about gender. I was like, huh? I can totally get it. In fact, there's a question here which I don't understand. So Divya's asking, how was ISDI? I don't know what ISDI is.
ISD?
ISD? Can you see
I
that on the
was,
screen?
yeah. Oh my God, that's my student. Hi,
Ah,
Divya.
well, there you go.
So ISD is the Indian School of Design and Innovation. I used to teach there. I was
Okay,
the
sick. Okay, cool.
youngest faculty. I was 22 when I joined.
Oh, you can fuck
Right
off.
after college. Yeah, I was the youngest freaking faculty there,
Member of the
dude.
pack. Yeah,
Like
fuck off. Yes.
my students were like 2 or 3 years younger than me. That was it. Like I remember the first day I walked into class. I was like, "Hi guys, nice to see you." And they looking at me like, "What the fuck? Is this
Are
a
you
joke?
are you a
Are
class
you a
member?
senior? Like, what is like?" I could read their minds. I was like,
Wait. How many of them developed crushes on you?
"Oh my god!" I will not name anyone, but there was definitely one chick in my class who professed professed it to me, and I just said, "Excuse me," like.
I am your teacher.
No.
This is very inappropriate. I am about 2 years older than you. Get off.
No, I was just like, hey, like, this is, this makes me very uncomfortable. And if there was another person in my position, they would probably take advantage of you. So just be careful with your life. Like,
That's some good lessons. Yes.
I'm a good teacher, but yes, Divya, to your question, like I really enjoyed my time in ISD. I was teaching in ISD right before I came out.
Oh
So
wow.
I quit actually in December 2016, and I didn't go back to school in Jan 2017. Um, and Jan 27, I mean March 2017, I came out. So I lost my grandfather in October 2016, and I gave it 6 months, and then I came.
Shit. That's all. How do you? I mean, that's going to be quite interesting. Sort of teaching craft while you've got this whole fucking maelstrom going on in your head.
Oh my God! I showed them, like I talked about this stuff. I did. I talked about this stuff in academic ways though. Like I made it part of my curriculum. I showed them films that were. Divya, do you remember the Danish Girl? I showed them the Danish Girl, and I had conversations about it. The Danish Girl. Have you seen the Danish Girl?
Nope. I'm going to Google it right now. Although
Oh my
I'm sure there's some
God!
weird porn will come up as I put this in.
That's because
No,
Nerm
they came up
watches
the
a lot of
film.
porn, guys.
Okay,
Danish
no.
porn. That's his theme.
Actually, the first thing that came up was the 2015 film, The Danish Girl.
Yeah, it's really famous.
Just to show you about my search history, that's the first thing that came up. Just to clarify, I don't sit here fucking googling porn on my many machines all day.
Nerm likes Indian porn. Okay, sorry.
I mean, mate, there's some really, really, really nasty Indian porn that I'm not a fan of. It's like full auntie and maid business. I'm like, all right, each to their own, but like, is this the most viewed? Like, really? Very, 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 very interesting tastes. Like, each to their own, yeah? Fair enough. I mean, actually, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine, oh shit, should I tell you a story? Yeah, fine. So a friend of mine over here, I won't name names or anything, but a dear friend of mine, he really needed a massage. Like his head and shoulders were all locked up. And he lives in Essex, which is like outside of central London towards the coast kind of thing, but like deep, dark Essex. So he went on Groupon and he found this massage. It's an Indian massage. So he was like, wicked. I'll get one of those Indian head massages and proper things, you know what I mean? And he went in and it was literally like this auntie who used like achar ka tel, right? It just stunk of achar. And he was just like, dude, it was the worst thing, man. She's like fucking jammed elbows into my back and then went for my junk. And I was like, yo, I don't want no like chili. I don't want no chili touchings there, man. Like, fuck that. So I just had to run away. But yeah, there you go.
Oh, damn. Sorry for laughing at the story.
I mean, so thankfully, I mean, yeah, it's hilarious, but thankfully that isn't my search history. So yes, anyway, the Danish Girl came up. Let's go back to something good. So the Danish Girl, what about this film?
I showed it to them and I discussed, I think I showed it to them when we were doing this project about making this, and asked them to make this headpiece. And the inside of this headpiece was supposed to reflect what they felt like on the inside about themselves. And the outside of that headpiece was supposed to reflect how they think that they were perceived by other people.
That's like Darth Vader's helmet. Or Batman's helmet, or any, yeah, that's fucking amazing. Oh my god, that's it.
Yeah, and my classes, like when I was teaching in that college and stuff, they were very emotional. Like I would cry all the time while I was teaching. Like I would just have like I'd get really emotional. I'm a very emotional person, so if I'm really happy, I'm really excited, if I'm overwhelmed, like tears just roll down my eyes. And I'd always tell them, like, just because there's tears in my eyes doesn't mean that it's getting in the way of my intelligence.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I wanted them to learn, because life throws shit at you all the time, you know, all the time. And if you suppress your emotions, you're not dealing with them, you're not like letting them flow, you're not allowing yourself to feel how you feel. So you don't know how you feel and how, you know, and if you worry too much about like how you're being perceived, then that also gets in the way of you being yourself. So I would always make my point, and I'd always like tell them what I was thinking or feeling or whatever. But I think like a lot of my students still write to me, you know, and they get in touch with me, and that's been the case for years. Even when I was a TA and stuff at RISD, like they're still in touch with me, you know, and ask me for help or anything they need. They know I got their backs, like always.
And I guess also you don't have to have that overtly like sort of masculine viewpoint of never showing weakness. I think you can show your weakness, and that's also a strength. You know what I mean? You can sort of be emotional and sort of show that humanity aspect of it without having to be like cartoon and fucking like all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And so I guess like that's one of the main things that I taught my students there was allow yourself to express. You know, and unless you understand yourself and how you see the world and how you process the world, you're not going to be able to understand what you want to make for another person. You want to understand another person's needs unless you understand your own needs, you know, and so, and in your own brain and how it works and functions and all that. So, man, I miss it. I miss being in a classroom. I really like being in a classroom. I really like teaching. But I think like the activism work that I do now is about educating people, and so that kind of is an extension of that, you know. And me, like when I talk to people, when I give lectures, when I do all of that stuff, like that all kind of circles back into like the educator, you know, in me. Fuck. What the fuck, Divya? You're making me miss the classroom now. Fuck you.
All right. Well, actually, you know what? Beyond that, beyond all the sort of deepness of it, right? Being India's first drag king and going out and fucking doing some like seriously fabulous shit is the fun side of it, right? You get to fucking go out and express yourself in the most fucking elaborate ways, which is awesome and loads of fun.
Yeah. It is like, but that's also, it's been really tough out there for that as well. Like I
don't mean now in the pandemic times. I mean generally, because now it's shit for everybody.
No, even generally, it's been that also has been tough. But I have a freaking amazing drag mom, and you know how that started. Have I ever told you how I got into performing in drag?
No.
Oh my God, it was crazy. So one of my favorite drag queens is coming to India. Her name is Alaska Thunderfuck 5000. Okay. You love
Alaska,
her already. You love her already.
I'm fucking looking up now. Alaska Thunderfuck.
I'm gonna get a refill till you look for that. Alaska Thunderfuck 5000.
Alaska Thunderfuck 5000. That's one of the best drag names I've ever heard. Dude, I was at, oh, got it. I was at, again, I was at He, She, They, and I met a drag queen who's amazing, and she's called Frida Slaves, which is amazing. And I was just like,
I love that name. That's a nice name.
It's amazing. Frida, slaves. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God. And it was a black drag queen. I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, fucking incredible. And then there's like this sort of cleaning product called Method, which all comes, it's all sort of natural ingredients and stuff. And she was the fucking face of it here. And I was like, yes.
So
Alaska
anyway,
Thunderfuck,
like
awesome.
Alaska came to India. She was in Bombay. And
Wow, really?
yeah, and I went to that show because I was like, holy shit, I have to go see this. And at that point, I was also living in Bangalore. So I went to Bombay to see this show, and I'm in this show, and I'm losing my shit, right? I'm losing my shit. I'm like all the way up front. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And I'm dressed in this really cute dress. I'm very feminine on that particular day. And this is like right after I'd come out. And once, I think right after I'd come out, I was in the bathroom and I just put black eyeshadow on my cheeks to create like a 5 o'clock shadow to see what I would look like. And the minute I did that, like my whole like body language changed. And, and suddenly it was very like, I'm a fuck boy now kind of vibe I had.
I'm sorry. I just want to say, like, does Bombay need any more fuckboys?
Good one. Nice one. But there's no fuckboy like me, okay?
Fine.
Come on. But anyway, I took one picture. I had one picture.
Okay.
And I was like, I went backstage and I see Alaska there. And I met my drag mom that day. So Rani Kohinoor is my drag mom's name. And she was, it's Rani and Kohenur. So Kohinoor.
Acha.
Yeah. She's amazing. She sings in the high pitch and like in a really bassy tone as well. So
it's coming up just as the actual spelling of Kohinoor, like the diamond.
Oh, that's just because like people googled her with the freaking wrong name, wrong spelling.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go, got it. So I don't know whether this is like, sorry, please continue.
Yeah, so I basically went backstage and I met both of them, and Rani had also like, she had been performing in India for a while, and I saw her there, and I mean, she was fabulous, absolutely gorgeous, fabulous, like had such a presence, and I was like, who is this freaking queen? Like, I want to go meet her, and I go there, and I see Alaska, and I see Rani, and I'm like, hi, like, I'm actually and my drag mom looks at me, and she's like, oh my God, nice legs, like. And I was just like, thanks. And then I was like, actually, I'm a gender fluid person. And today I'm feeling more feminine, but But these
motherfuckers get hairy and big if you want them to,
Yeah. And then I was like, I love drag. And one time I put a 5 o'clock shadow on my face, and this is a picture. And I showed, they both took my phone and they were like, you have to do drag. Like, what the fuck? What are you waiting for? You have to do this. You're like a natural. You have to do this. And I was like, no, I'm a sculptor. I'm an educator. Like, I don't perform and all. Like, fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna be on stage. I'm more like the maker. Like, I'm more behind the scenes kind of person. And like, my drag mom looks at me and she says, here's my phone, put your number in it, bitch, because I'm a book you. I'm a train you, I'm a book you, I'm adopting you, I'm your mother now. Like, give me your fucking number. Then she actually messaged me back. Like, she actually texted me being like, hey, what's up? I'm doing the show. You should come 6 hours before the show. You need to see my entire transformation. You need to see how this is done and all that. And, and then
Can I ask you a question about drag pronouns? How does it work?
You ask each performer that. For me, like, so I'm always, for me, it's always they, them, and theirs, always. Whether I'm in drag or out of drag, because honestly, like, my drag stuff, I don't feel like I'm putting on a character. It's just me. I don't, it's not like have
Well,
another persona.
like when you're feeling particularly feminine or particularly masculine, your pronouns don't shift accordingly.
No.
Whereas I imagine with some drag artists, it might sort of go from being, well, I am this projection, and today with this because I feel that way. This is a projection of how I feel. So
Yeah, like for some drag artists, if they identify as a man, they usually he, him, and then when they're in drag, she, her. Like that's usually like how it goes, vice versa.
yeah.
But for me, like I said, like I don't feel like I am a character. Like when I'm in drag, I'm still
Just you.
I'm
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I guess drag has been almost a medium to help me understand my fluidity better. So
And I imagine it's a fuckload of fun as well.
yeah, it's also painful as hell. Like it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Like
my
how?
boobs are under my armpits like for hours taped
Oh
up.
yeah, it's a different kind of tuck, right? Because I'm just like, dude. I mean,
It's
like,
way
there's
more painful than that tuck because that tuck is like what? This is like a whole bunch of like.
wow, proper straps.
I have like scars out here from all the rip
Wow.
after my drag shows. Like every time I take out the
Wow.
binding after a show, I lose some skin.
Wow.
So it's painful. It's pretty painful. It gets really hot. Like I can't wait to do drag like not in India where it'll be cooler. So I just
I mean, there's air conditioning there, man. Just get them to put it in the back rooms.
yeah, but there's so many people in the room.
That's true. I've got it. Liquid cooling in the pipe, like liquid cooling piping, right? USB powered liquid cooling. We could jugaad this shit easily, right? You get get a little motor full of coolant.
You won't believe this, but when I designed one of these for my portfolio, when I was applying to design school, I designed one of these.
No way.
I actually did as part of my portfolio.
That's awesome.
It was like, oh, let me design some futuristic clothing like for people.
Like binding coolants. I mean, I think there's a market for that. I think, a lot of people would appreciate that.
I found my mom actually found this old drawing that I made. As one of the design exercises, I had to make a drawing about illusion.
Okay.
Okay. And this drawing is literally, you can see the back of my head with my long hair looking into a mirror. And I have like a tiny like fuzz on my
One
chin
of these.
and I have a mohawk.
One of these.
Yeah, one of those, but not that long.
But not as pointy. Not as like
No.
masculinely pointy.
And a mohawk.
Uh-huh.
And that was from when I was 15 or 16, I drew that, And so like, it's crazy. It's like I have all of these, oh my God, I have like almost 30, 40 books, which are my diaries, which I've written since I was 11 years old, full of like all this shit I was going through with my dysphoria. But I couldn't say, oh, this is my dysphoria at that point,
Because maybe the vocabulary wasn't there.
I didn't know what it was called. I just knew
Right.
I was feeling something different from everyone else.
Yeah.
I would write in it. I'd be like, I feel so disconnected from everything and everyone in the world. I feel disconnected from myself. I feel like I don't belong here. I feel everyone is,
Was that dismissed as a phase by people as well? Because there's a lot of growing pains that happen through, and you said that your dysmorphia began at puberty. And I can imagine that a lot of people just say, well, it's a phase, you'll get over it.
Yeah. And
or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting my own issues.
No, it's true that it was definitely dismissed. I didn't discuss it with that many people. I discussed it with some people and those people totally dismissed it. Because they also didn't know, right, what the fuck, what was going on. But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't until when I went to RISD, when I was at Rhode Island School of Design, that I was around and like there were trans people around me. Oh my God. And you know what is insane? It's like so many of my friends from RISD like came out after college, and so now like so many of them are trans, like came out as trans, and like so many of them are like, okay, my pronouns are this, my pronouns are that, and it's like it's crazy. It's like so many of like my circles back then. Like even back then, I connected to people. I was close to people who were going through similar things, and of course, I had straight friends there too.
Mm.
You know, like my best friend from college, he's like the straight cis head dude. His name is Roland, and and but at the same time, like I have this friend whose name is Chaz, who now lives in Berlin, who's looking towards getting surgery and getting breasts. And I'm looking to get surgery and get my breasts off my chest. And I'm just like, so now we discussed this being like, dude, like, wouldn't it be great if I could just give you mine? Like, if I could just do like a data transfer to you, like, here, just fucking
do
take
it.
this.
A quick swap.
Yeah.
Although I think there might be an issue of color matching.
No!
No?
Chaz is Mexican.
What the fuck? I mean, that seems like
I
an
know,
idea.
it's
What?
so annoying. It's literally so annoying.
There's got to be some Swiss hospital that can do that shit like this.
Oh man. Yeah, and that brings me to the point, like, I'm actually working on pitching a docu-series about my transition. So when I have my transition, I'm going to record all of that shit. And I'm going to turn it into something that'll actually educate other people about why these things are necessary, you know,
Yeah.
for certain people. Like, I'm literally unable to function for years properly. And like just the physicality of this, like, you know, when you like your body gets really tense, like, you know, you're like this. That's like me
Very
all
much
the
so,
time.
yeah.
Like my body is constantly just tense. And
And
it's
I
like
guess,
when I'm, huh?
and I guess you would have had a lot of people saying, "Well, it's just all in your mind. You know, you just need some therapy or whatever the fuck to get over it." Like there must be a lot of that dismissal.
Yeah, there is. There has been. So many people are just like, you don't really need this. It's just in your head. Why would you want to do something so permanent? It's like, man, for 15 years I've felt uncomfortable with this shit on my body. How much longer do I have to live with it for me to like convince myself that I actually need this, you know? And it's taken me like, I've known about top surgery for the last 9 years, you know? I've seen some friends go through it. I've been there for them through it and stuff like that. But I never thought I would want to go ahead and do that until I actually came out and realized, like, before I came out, I was just living with so much weight, like
literal weight as well as emotional weight, like both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after like one aspect of that weight was lifted off of me, and I let that go, I realized, wow, the shit is still heavy. Like the shit is still heavy.
You're addicted to freedom, you bastard. Stop it.
I just want to run around the beach in a Speedo. Like
with no issues. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Without a shirt. Like I just really want to do that. And people look at the scars on my chest, they would turn away even more. That's going to be so great. Like,
it's fascinating, isn't it? I think that there's this assumption that like one dresses flamboyantly or with a certain style or look to like sort of impress their image on other people, but genuinely it's about yourself and being comfortable within yourself. And like fuck what other people think.
I mean, like for so many years I dressed for everybody else, right? And then when I was at RISD, like nobody gave a shit. Like literally nobody gave a shit. Like except when I was in the freaking shop, then I had to wear dress code, you know?
Which means shop?
The foundry, the sculpture foundry, like the wood shop, metal shop.
Oh, okay.
I
'Cause
had
you
to
got
wear
safety
like
goggles and shit,
certain,
and
yeah, I have
yeah.
to wear a certain dress code for that. But other than that, like whatever, like oh my God, I remember I was so shocked when I saw this the first time. I was 19, and this one girl, she came to class without a bra and a transparent t-shirt, a crop top. So you could just completely see through. Okay, when I say complete, was a net.
Hmm.
She wore a net to class. You could see her boobs, you could
Yeah.
see her nipples, you could see everything clearly. And I found myself being the only one who was like,
You became the prude, you bastard.
yeah, I did. I was, and that's what I realized. I was like, oh my God,
I'm
this
the
is my
prude.
Indianness. Holy shit. This is what it is all like. The whole time I was sitting in that class, not paying attention and paying attention to my freaking mind, going, what? You're the prude over here? How the fuck did this happen? Like,
That's awesome. That's awesome. The catching yourself out bit's fucking great. So you know that the whole thing about. In fact, listen, I need to go wee. Has anyone got a question for Durga while I go piss? So they can answer the question
yes, you can actually type the questions out in
in the comment
the comment section because
here. There you go.
y-
I've just typed in here. Yeah, because I need to wee. You're all right on your own.
yeah, I'm great. Go
You
for
got your
it.
booze, so good. Yeah.
Look at my dog. Look at how peacefully he's sleeping.
Hmm.
No, I'm talking to the people. Go pee, Nerm.
Oh wait. What do you say when Krishna's girlfriend? No, wait. What? Okay, wait. Hang on. Wait.
Did
So
you have to pee?
there's a joke. There's a joke in here. I'm trying to get to it, and I can't fucking figure it out. But basically, you know, when Krishna was a kid and he had all of these girls around him, they were called gopis, right? So I
Yeah.
am Krishna's girlfriend because I need to gopi.
Oh my God, guys. That. Wow, I'm so glad you disappeared because like that shit was horrible. No, that was just the worst joke ever. Oh my God, my friend Denise is here. Hi Denise, how are you doing? What's up, guys? This is so nice. I haven't had this kind of a conversation with anyone in a very, very long time. Look at Duke. He's just passed out there. He's just like, these fucking humans talking away, talking away, talking away. Oh, I get hearts. Denise says hi, Gawde. Hi, Dinesh. She's gonna hate me for calling her Dinesh online. Well, while Nerm is peeing and he gets back, I'm gonna show you guys some more of the paintings that I've been working on. This one's made with coffee and watercolor. Been working on some really strange things. They're just born out of my brain. I don't know where they really come from, except all that research that I did for years. And like I said, these are all works in progress, and they're not done yet. Do not judge them, okay? Start getting metallic after a point of time. Oh yeah, a lot of people ask me how did you get the golds in? The golds are also watercolors. I've made like almost 300 freaking paintings this in the last, I don't know, year and a half. Year? In the last year? Last. Wow, Nerve takes a really long time to pee. How long do you do the susu, bro?
Hey, shut up. I'm back.
Yeah, I was just showing people all of my other drawings and paintings while
Lovely.
you were gone. Yeah, anyway.
I've got to say, hey, Alka, fuck off. It's not my age. This joke is timeless. Actually, Alka is in the comments, and she knew me from when I was like 8, so fair enough. Or 9, maybe. I was really young. But yeah, I mean, so actually, there's this whole thing that I wanted. It is actually, Karthik's correct. I need to drain out all the bourbon. It's true. It's very true. Like this whole chat has been, and you know this, Durga, guys, that the whole chat for me doing this every week has been to keep some sort of stability in my head about what day of the week it is. So I know that every Wednesday I have to wash and speak to a friend and get drunk and have fun. It's lovely. It's been a great way to sort of maintain some calendar over the last many, many, many weeks. In fact, wait, I'm going to tell you, we're on week 45.
You have done a lot of these freaking interviews.
45 weeks of this, which is kind of fun.
And just so you know, like, you have given me a lot of joy through all of it. Like, when I was having a rough time and I saw that, like, if I saw you were doing something, I would always watch it. I'd post about it, I'd watch it.
That's really
like,
sweet.
Yeah, because I'd just be like, this person just has so much fucking energy. I don't know what he does with it.
Right? I mean, dude.
I wonder what the fuck you would have, if you and I were ever in the same class. That teacher would have just been so pissed off, like the entire, they would just be miserable. It would just be like cracking jokes and pulling pranks, like all.
This is the thing. Like, honestly, right? I'm not even joking. So I did this, like, my DJ setup's behind me, right? So I started doing live streams at the start of it, like in March, last year when the UK locked down. And the thing, you know, when I was doing live DJ streams, the energy levels were so high, and there was so, like, you know, the adrenaline was pumping, and I'd obviously be drinking through it. And then I'd press stop on the stream, and I was just like, you know, broadcasting to fucking whoever, and just like, yeah, and then stop and be like, oh, I'm on my own in this room. What the fuck do I do with this energy? Like, I'm just ready to run into the night and see what happens. And I'm waiting for some after parties and shit. No, nothing. So this has been awesome because I get to, you know, talk all of my bullshit out.
Yeah, I think I need to bring my live sessions back. You know,
Totally.
no, you know, when we had the phone call, so we spoke before we did this live session, we spoke a little bit about what we're going to talk about during this time, just to make sure there was things, if they were off topic, we don't get into them and stuff like that. But basically, like, when you told me, like, you know, I just do this to feel sane, like, so I have some sort of calendar or whatever, like,
Yeah.
I was like, shit, like, because I've been having such a rough fucking time in the last couple months. It's been really intense. Like, I was working out like crazy, and that kept me occupied, you know, like, that was like, dude, that was like an unsustainable thing. I can't keep doing that, but my goal was just to, like, I wanted to gain 20 kgs in muscle mass. And then,
motherfucker, I weigh like 55. Are you kidding me? 20 kgs.
I weigh more than you, Nerm.
I am look, dude, honestly, like, the real problem that I have is that I eat like a fucking hog. And it's like throwing shit against a wall covered in Teflon. It just slides off. I eat so much and nothing fucking sticks.
It's very difficult for me to put on weight. I was eating like 10, 15 eggs a day and 500 grams of meat every day while I was working out. I was working out 4 hours.
I just want to say, Oka, yep, I remember listening. Wait, hang on a second. Wait, sorry, I'm just looking at the comments very quickly. Sorry. Oka, hi. And then Ipshan saying we're live in India. Yeah, we're live. Well, she's in India. I'm in London. It's the internet. We're all live. All of us
I am
together.
also in India, just so you guys know.
But I'm in England. India, England. It's like the Empire Strikes Back, motherfuckers. We're here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh my God. I totally lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was saying.
This is the point of
India,
the
England
conversation.
is all I can think about.
India, England. That's it, man. I mean, also, if we want to get, actually, no, I don't want to get deeply political because we're having fun now, so let's enjoy.
Wait, what was I saying? Thought.
Can someone remind us what we were talking about, please? Ulka, honestly, Ulka in the comments threw me because she has photographs of me when I was younger, as like Nirmesh from the Mandir, and I'm like, fuck. There's
oh my God, Nirmesh from the Mandir! I need to see this. Like,
yes, of course, and also, oh yeah, Ulka's saying trying to put on weight. There you go. That's what
that was what it was.
Yeah,
I was trying to put on weight. And I set this goal for myself. Like, I was like, okay, for the next 1 year, it's going to take me probably a year to put on 20 kgs because it's so hard for me to put on weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did it in 4 months.
What the fuck? What did you do?
I was working. So I'd wake up every day in the morning. I'd walk my dog. I'd cook my first 3 meals of the day.
Each time you wake up, before you put on your makeup, did you say a little prayer? No, I'm joking.
And then I would like work and finish all my work by 3 p.m.
Okay.
And then I'd go to the gym at 3 o'clock. I'd come back home at 7. I would eat. And then I would go play basketball. I'd come back home and eat again. And then that's what I was like working out for 4 hours a day. And I was probably eating for like 2 hours a day. And I was like playing basketball for 1 hour a day. And so it just, and I ate so much freaking food. Holy shit. Like, it was insane. And then I was like, this is just unsustainable because I was like, it's just like tired from eating sometimes. Like, it just, really.
Dude, that's why your jaw becomes square because your jaw muscles.
My jaw. You know, my friends are asking me, one of my friends asked me, like, how do you still have that fucking jawline? I was like, because of the amount of food I eat, bitch. Like, you think I'm only doing this shit all the time? No, I'm like.
Absolutely. I think that for me, it's like the amount of shit that I chat just burns up the calories rapidly.
So, yeah, and then after that, like, my chest muscles grew, and then it pushed my breast tissue out.
Mm-hmm.
So my boobs, like, they just look bigger to me, you know. When I look down, they just look bigger, and it makes me. It's been really difficult to go and work out after that. Like, it's been rough.
And that, I guess, sort of like doubled up the dysmorphia, right? That's the whole thing. Is that whole process, I guess, reinforced the problems almost.
Yeah, and what I would do earlier was I would wear a binder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's this compression vest that it's like, it's a really tight vest that doesn't really stretch.
Yeah. So while you're working out?
No, I wouldn't wear it. I stopped wearing it because of COVID. Like, I saw some posts about how, you know, like when you wear a binder, you have to breathe differently.
Yeah, the oxygen intake is less, right? So
yeah, it's way lesser. So it automatically puts your body in a state of anxiousness. You know, it's like already. So I don't know,
because you're being constricted, right? So of course there's going to be some physiological response to that.
Yeah, exactly. So there were like just a lot of stress hormones in my body, right? And I stopped binding. I've not been binding. I only bind when I'm doing drag now.
Right.
Or if I'm doing a look or something like that. And like, I don't know, all of those things, like, I really start questioning, like, what is a sustainable way to keep this going? And the last time I was in the gym while I was working out, I told you I hurt my hand, my right hand. Now, freaking artist, I was like, fuck, how do I paint now? Nahi!
Fucking full drama. Yeah.
You want to talk, bitch? Like,
embrace
Look
my
at you,
drama.
you're a
I love
freaking
my drama.
animated cartoon character. Like, yeah, exactly. What was that?
Fucking love it. Totally. Yeah, but it's drama I can deal with. I don't, you know, I'm very blessed. I don't have those issues, right? So that's the whole thing. Is like I don't have to deal with all those things. But if you damage your hand and you're an artist, then you let it heal and you keep artisting.
No, I mean, I know how to draw with this hand as well.
Ambidextrous.
When I draw and paint, yeah.
That's
I was
awesome.
trained. I was trained to, yeah.
What, do Garba?
No, this is me drawing. Yeah, I draw like this with my fingers a lot.
Well, that brings us full circle to your gym stuff and your body dysmorphia and how the kind of progression you were making in your gym stuff made you feel a bit more like, oh shit, what, like the things that affect you became more prominent, right?
My grandfather actually, like, I connect with him when I'm working out. So
tell me about your grandfather, right? Why is he such a big figure in your life?
He was always this like macho man kind of person with everyone else, except for me. Like I know I brought out the softer sides of him, and he was his relationship to my dad was not that great.
Okay.
But his relationship to me was really awesome. And I essentially, like, both my parents worked, right?
So I presume that is your dad's dad, based on that.
Yeah, it's my dad's dad. I never met my mom's dad.
Okay.
So my dad's dad, he told me this story right before he passed, actually. He said to me, I didn't even tell this to my wife, but when I was around 17 years old or 16 years old, this man told me that he was going to take me. He came from the village to Bombay, right?
Right.
So he was doing night school and he was working in a mill. He was a mill worker, and he's a very innocent guy. He came from the village, and this older man told him, "I'm going to take you to this one place to meet some guru or something." He came from a very religious background. So he was like, yeah, I want to go meet this guru. Like, I want my life to be better. I want to go pray. I want to do all of these things. And this man essentially took him to some place and tried to essentially take advantage of him.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And he found a way to lock himself in the bathroom till that man fell asleep and got tired of trying to open the bathroom and ran out of the bathroom and somehow made his way back to Bombay. And he told me that he decided at that point that he would never be in a position in his life again where someone thought that they could take advantage of him physically. Like they could pull him down or they could fight him or beat him or he was like, I never wanted to be perceived as someone who was weak. And I wanted to just be really, really strong. And so he told me that right before he passed, and after I came out, there have been many moments where I felt very, very weak, I felt not tired. Also, like, I was not eating properly, I was not sleeping properly for years, and that took a big toll on my body. Like, when we had that chat on Insta Live, I was 39 kilos. I weighed 39 kgs.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Less than me.
Now I'm almost 60.
Fuck.
Yeah. And like...
You didn't look it at all, by the way, but the camera lies. I mean, look at this. Lies.
No, bitch. It's all muscle mass, okay?
Lies. Look at that. Lies.
It's all here. It's all there.
Yeah.
Just taking a 2-week break. Like, I haven't gone to the gym in 2 weeks.
Dude, it's a fisheye lens. It's all fake. None of this is real. And this wall is not really like 10 feet high.
Honestly, because of my dysphoria, I really don't know what's real because I see different things and I look in the mirror all the fucking time. Like,
but you know what? I think that's your fucking superpower, right? You can see that shit and express yourself so honestly. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's there were these kids, you know, that I had the privilege of spending a lot of time with, little kids,
Mm.
and they would look at me and they would say, "Wow, this is like a magical superpower you have. You can turn into whatever you want, you know."
Mm.
And that made me really emotional because I was like, I wish the whole world saw it that way. I wish the fucking government saw it that way. I wish the legal system saw it. I wish you know, and because otherwise most trans people don't, they lose the will to live very young. A lot
Mm.
of queer people lose the will to live in this world because it's just so hard to be yourself, and there's a lot of repercussions for being yourself. Like,
Mm.
I've talked to you about it briefly, where, I mean, I don't want to dwell upon it, but I haven't spoken, like, my parents haven't spoken to me in months,
Mm.
you know, and that's been because they hoped that once I came out, I would stop talking about it at certain point. It's like, no, I came out so I could keep talking about it for the rest of my goddamn life.
Like, this is it, motherfucker. It's not going to go back. Pandora's box has been
Yeah,
opened.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think there's something to be said for having to rise above what's expected, particularly from family. And how do I word this without going too deep because we're public? I just realized, okay, so there you go. I've worked it out in my head. Is that there's a certain point where people you seeked approval from as you were growing up may not be so important anymore. And it's
You know, as
really
you say
difficult.
that, as you say that, I just want to say my drag mom is like with us right now. Sushant,
Yay!
yes, that's Rani Kohinoor out there. This person adopted me, and by the way, Sushant just came out as gender fluid as well.
Awesome.
So I mean, I just want to say, Mama, I love you. Like, this person only 2 years older than me, but it's like literally my mother. Like, literally my freaking mother. Like, we'll just, yeah. She'd cut a bitch for me, like, anytime. You know what I mean?
But that's like that's entirely it. Building your own family and infrastructure
Yeah.
is so important
Yeah.
because I think that when everyone says blood's thicker than water, but I genuinely don't think that's the case. I genuinely don't believe that. I feel that there's like understanding and compassion is way, way, way thicker than blood.
Yeah, look at what she just said. She said, I love you for whoever you are, who you have become, and what you have in store for the universe.
That's awesome.
I love you too. For whoever you are, whoever you thought you were, whoever you think you may be,
whoever you become. Like that's like, fuck it. Honestly, right? You know what? I was thinking about this, right? I was thinking about how insanely fucking privileged I am to have our first interaction. You know, you're talking about our first ever meeting where all those things didn't fucking matter. But you know how insanely privileged I am to be in that position, to not give a fuck about someone's whatever the fuck. Just not to care.
Isn't that like the only time we've seen each other in person now? Like,
yeah.
That is the only time. The first time I met Nerm, and the only time I've met Nerm is when he stole my lipstick.
But you made such a big deal about like a heteronormative dude asking for your lipstick in Bombay.
Yo, that was like the first time.
It's just fucking normal.
That was the first time someone asked me for my lipstick. And it wasn't just any lipstick. It was a freaking black matte lip stain, guys.
The matte is the one.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, look at this. Look at this.
I have so much.
He just went around showing everyone, look at this, look at this, look at this. He was so drunk, like he was just going anybody was like, look at this. I'm like, motherfucker, like your lips are black. Everyone can see it. Anyone who looks at you can see it. You don't have to point it out. Like, look at it.
It was a dark room, motherfucker. Okay, shut up. It was a dark room.
But it was, that lipstick matched rest your freaking beard, your goatee, or whatever that is.
I wear monochrome. Are you fucking kidding me? You're meant to be some drag king fucking bakwas, and look at my style. My whole look is 90s lesbian. Are you kidding me? Like, that is my whole uniform. I mean, how is that?
I used to dress exactly like you through like my teenage years. Like that was like my parents created that shit. You know, like they threw out all of my black t-shirts, like all my band t-shirts.
No.
Yes, I was so annoyed. There were almost like 60 or 65 t-shirts I had collected over 6 or 7 years.
How is that possible with artistic parents? Like, my parents would have done.
It's
like,
different to be artists and it's different to be a parent. That's how they've explained it. So,
I mean, okay, fair. But the
also,
point
like
is,
they weren't raised. They did their best to raise me the way they thought was the most liberal way to raise me. You know what I mean? And this is the result of that.
you know what?
Right?
To play devil's advocate and to be an uncle because I'm an old bastard is that actually everyone has their boundaries, you know. And also, Sean saying 90s lesbian. Yes, this is my.
Yeah. So just like Nerm is such a vibe.
But
Yeah.
the point is that yeah, everyone has their boundaries, right? But again, like, you know, growing up like from a very, very similar to what you were saying about like from a very humble background, and the arts not being any sort of sustainable option for me. Typically, it was like education was the only way out of poverty, particularly in a racist environment like the UK, and particularly the working class UK, which is where I grew up. Like all of this is like a fucking mad pipe dream. Like my whole life is a mad blessing. Like, what the fuck? But going back to it was like the dismissal of bands and art away from academia was my upbringing. So to hear you with artistic parents dismissing bands and you know, styles from art is a really, really unique thing for me, particularly with an Indian cult background. You know, it's quite a weird thing.
Those were death metal bands.
So I'm from Birmingham. I grew up with Napalm Death and fucking a
Exactly. But like I don't think I've ever heard I don't think I've ever seen my dad like play music ever. Like
really?
Yeah. He used to have 2 cassettes in his car when I was growing up, and he'd play the same thing again and again because they were just in his car. But I've never like seen him play music. Like
That's fascinating.
he's not he's like a very focused on my shit kind of person.
See, to meet Indian people, like from my background, like literally second generation immigrant in a humble background, art was always like a luxury that was so far away from anything. To meet someone that's from a humble background where art is sacrosanct is really bizarre, where that's treated like an academic approach. It's interesting to me. I've never experienced that before.
Yeah, me neither.
Fucking crazy. Like literally, I remember my mom, like, so my brothers are both like doctors and they're significantly older than me. And I remember once when I was doing like anatomy drawings, because being a doctor is the only way out of poverty, right? Particularly in the UK, it was like, right, you know, be a doctor. I mean, it's fucking all Indian people, right? It's like, be a doctor, an accountant. That's the fucking way. And I remember doing an anatomical drawings, and my mom coming in and slapping me, saying, "You need to study. Stop doing like chitra, like stop doing drawings." And I'm just like, I mean, Mom, this is the same thing. So it's really weird to hear like a child of artists saying that about music, which I would assume is the same sort of thing. You know, it's an artistic expression.
My mom was a lot more chill about that. My dad, it would really bother him.
Okay.
He didn't, because he thought I was like worshipping Satan or some shit. Like.
Oh, that part. Oh, yeah. I mean, that sort of, yeah. Okay, fine. Cultural corruption is a whole different, yeah. Okay, that I get.
That's what I meant when I said like it's different to be artists and it's different to be Indian parents, you know? So If they met like any of my friends, they're like super chill about everything. But then, when it comes to my daughter,
Yeah. That's kind of sweet though, I think.
hey, actually, I remember one of your interviews. You were talking to Monica, and she was talking about how when she also had trouble with her dad being like, not my daughter doing this shit, that kind of thing,
Right.
And I think like wherever you grow up, whichever part of the world
It's
you
the
grow
same
up,
shit.
yeah.
Do you know what? I think I was really lucky in that I was the youngest kid, and there was so much there's such an age gap between me and my siblings. Like basically,
You
I
have
say,
siblings?
dude, have I not told you this? Like my
No.
nearest sibling is 15 years older than me.
What?
Yeah, like I have siblings.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3 siblings: a sister, a brother, and a brother.
And how old are they? Like, how many
Like-
years apart are they?
Like my youngest sibling is 15 years older than me, and then it goes older. Like I'm a full mistake, like full error, like full error. Yeah, shouldn't be here. But I say to my mom, like, I'm a mistake. So no, you're a blessing. Like, fuck off. No. You guys just had some fun times, and then like, ta-da! I was here.
And then they were like,
Shit.
Nirmesh, chill out.
Cheers,
Thank
my love.
God.
I think I might go to Lou again, and I think we should say good evening, because it's getting late everywhere.
Bitch,
What time
good
is it in
night.
Bombay?
Oh my God, we talked for 2 hours. What the fuck, Nerm?
Oh my god. Was it 1:30 there?
Yeah.
AM. Okay.
How did it not cut off? Did Insta change its thing? Like,
It's limitless.
yes.
Well, there you go.
See, it's giving me a reason to do my live sessions again.
Do them. I think they benefit a lot of people. And it's lovely. Hi, Tanuja's here. Tanuja, hi, Tanuja. Yay. So I'm going to go I'm going to say good night. And
right.
we will catch up again soon.
For sure.
Thank
you
you
so much for doing this. My
Thank
dog
you for doing
is
this.
like, pass the fuck out.
What's your dog's name?
Duke.
Duke.
Yeah.
Hi. When he's
Sorry.
really skinny and pale, do you call him David Bowie?
He came named Duke. I didn't name him that.
Like that. But
I
look,
would have named my dog Kutta.
that's the best name ever. I said to all my friends, just call him Dog. And they're like, no.
One of my mentors has this cat in his studio, and he's named his cat Billy Bhenchot.
Best name ever.
You were like, hey, Billy Bhenchot, come here.
That's the best name.
On that note,
I like Billy Bastard because it's gender neutral. So Bastard is my favorite.
giving you hugs. What your hugs?
Muscly arms.
Oh.
Wait a minute. There you go. Even more muscle. Bye, lovely.
Right, if I do the fish eye thing, let's see what happens.
Okay, go on. No, but you gotta rotate the thing. But look, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Durga. Mwah. Love you very much.
Yes,
I'll see
love
you
you
soon
too,
in the real
love
life,
you
hopefully.
We are going to see each other in real life sooner than we think. This shit has got to end.
I hope so. I'm going to get my vaccines and come over to India and just fucking rave. With a mask on and being responsible, obviously.
You're going to come and like hang out at my house.
And me and Duke can cuddle. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.